Hi guys, my name is Eridani and welcome back to another video. In this video, I decided to practice landscapes and basically just composition in general, and I decided to put a little character into Minecraft landscapes. So that's what I'm sketching right now. So in a different sketchbook, I had made these little things, and I'm like, you know, these are so cool. I should color them. And so I did. So that's what we're seeing right now. For this first little, I don't know what really to call it, image, feels right. For this first little image, I wanted to do a ruined portal because they're very interesting. There's a lot of lore behind them. No, Minecraft is one of those games where it's like, oh, you can really do whatever you want, but then the deeper you look into it, you're like, oh, there's layers, like an onion. And I don't know, that's just why I love the game. And it's just fun to kind of wander around and you're like, oh, someone was here before me, but they weren't because it's a game. I don't know if I'm making sense. But I just thought, you know, if I was a little Minecraft guy and I was just kind of teleported into the world and I didn't know of anyone else who I was there and I found something like that, I would be really sad, you know? So this guy's posing dramatically in the center. I fixed his pose later because he's kind of in an awkward position. I wanted him to be centered, but then I was like, you know, that's uncomfortable with the arm. So we fixed it later. And we added some lava, and I went back and forth on whether or not I should do a background for this. Later, I end up adding a fun background, but for this one, I was like, you know, let's just do it dark. But no, it changes later. As to what I'm using to create these, I'm just gonna do this while it's going. What I'm using, so I'm using the Arctix markers, the acrylic paint markers. They are amazing. I love them so much. They are brush tip and they're acrylic markers, so it's like the best of both worlds. And normally the colors are pretty opaque. They're cheaper than Posca's, they just run out quicker, which is sad. Oh, and here we fix that pose, and now it looks better. It looks a little bit more believable, which we enjoy. I'm using a, let me look and see what it's called, an Arctica sketchbook. It's square, so that's nice. And the one thing I have against these sketchbooks is that they always fall apart halfway through. So like, the spine will break in the middle and I have to freaking duct tape the entire book together. With this particular sketchbook, I actually had to sew it back together, like the binding and all, and that's what the electrical tape is. I put it over the thread so you couldn't see it and so that the thread wouldn't get nasty or anything. Yeah, so that's what I'm using. And then I just went over it in a green pen for sketching, because it kind of blends in and after a while you can't see it as well. In this next little image, I decided to go for a ocean temple, which was cool. I struggled with the pose a little bit. I wanted it to look like the guy was underwater and looking down at the temple. I hope that came across. And I decided that I would color him in black in each one, just so that it did not get confusing. But yeah, I really like this one. I feel like the colors turned out well. There are two different sets of the Arctix markers. There's like the secondary color ones, which has a ton of fun greens and like teals and just like non-Crayola colors. And then the first one has more bright colors that are more usual. So it was fun combining the two. I definitely had fun while creating this piece. But yeah, I hope it reads. I put some guardians in there. You can kind of see them, and some fish. So those were fun. And yeah, I really like this one. It's kind of one of my favorites, I think. So it became nighttime. I took a break, or like I had something that I had to do during the day, and I was like, I'm just in a vibe right now. I just want to draw and to finish this. So that's why the lighting takes a turn for the worse. Then I started on this next image in the bottom left, but conveniently, I forgot to push it down until that moment. So now I can see what it is. So this one is more of a base. At this point, my bases were all in like birch forests. I don't like going in the regular like oak biomes. I don't know, I don't really have anything against them. It's just I want to find something like more exciting for my actual base. So that's where we are. It's supposed to be a kind of forest clearing with the little base off to the left. And then the little guy is going to be walking towards it. And when drawing Minecraft in real life, it's kind of hard to tell, like, what should I make square and what should be, like, rounded. Because it's hard to make the especially the logs. So on each of the corners of the house are logs, and this is how I make my houses in actual Minecraft. And they are square in actual Minecraft, but normally they'd be rounded, so it's like, I don't know what to do. When it comes to building in Minecraft, I'm definitely not the greatest. I've definitely improved from earlier. I can throw together a cute cottagecore house or hobbit hole, but anything beyond that, and I'm looking at like a video tutorial, which I think is pretty normal. Yeah, I'm not the greatest at it. I'm kind of a casual Minecraft player. I'm very interested in the story and the lore, but when it comes to actual gameplay, I'm very mediocre. Not great at fighting. I'm really good at collecting things though, and that's one of the funnest things for me about it, is just coming home and like, ooh, I have like 3 Eyes of Ender. I also used a black Sharpie because I don't have a black paint marker right now. I think I used it up and it's dead and dying and it's sad in a hole. So yeah. And then we also added sparkly gold to the lanterns and to outline everything. This is the next day. I finished up this left image of the base. I decided that I didn't like the Sharpie outline with the black, so I was like, let's go over that with some gray and add some finishing touches before we move on. This is the point where I decided, the end portal, not the end portal, I'm sorry, the nether portal, it doesn't really match all the other ones. So I decided to give it a better background, and I decided on like a field with some gray clouds, like it's about to rain. And I really liked it. I liked how it ended up. It looks more natural now. Then we started work on this fun illustration. And this one is of the deep dark, which was really fun. So the first thing that I did is established where the lighting was, because these markers, even though they are amazing, they are not very great at layering over dark colors. Like, they can, but it just looks kind of blurry and odd. So to get as pure as color as possible, I just decided to put those in before the black. And so in this illustration, we have our little guy, and he's wearing a helmet, and he has a shield, and he's near a stack of candles. A stack? He's near some candles. By the big portal weird thingy in the middle of the deep dark, and he's looking down at the warden, which was fun to draw. So we have two different light sources. We have the teal fire and the warden a little bit. The warden, I think it does have a little bit of glowiness, like, on its head, but not much. So warden is getting reflected light from the teal fire, and then the player has the warm orange light from the candles. And this lighting was so fun to work with. It was great. I'm really intrigued by the warden. It's a really fun mob. I hate having to come across it in actual Minecraft, but it's a cool thing. And my friend actually got me a action figure of it from Target, because it is my favorite. Yeah, so yeah, as I was talking about earlier, when I try and layer the colors over each other, like over the black, it just looks kind of weird like it did. But yeah, I really like this piece. The lighting is super fun. This image is of the Nether Fortress, another fun structure in Minecraft. So the player is crouching behind a wall, and then a blaze is coming down the stairs from those weird blaze-like balcony things. And I kind of struggled with this one. I didn't have the correct brownish red color of the Nether Fortress, so I kind of had to make do with what I had. And what I had was very saturated, so we tried our best to kind of layer colors, especially to get what we wanted. This one's probably my least favorite out of all of them, but it's not the worst. It's just not the greatest either. It came out looking kind of weird and blurry, but it's still cool. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this one. I decided to make the warped forest as the background outside, just for some contrast, to try and break up some of that red. I really like the warped forests. They're really fun. I forget to bring the proper gear with me, so I get killed very often. Again, I'm a casual Minecraft player. I'm not the greatest at it. But yeah, as you can see, it's not coming out super terribly well. Like, I tried to put some fun lighting effects in there, but they just ended up making it look kind of muddy. I don't know. And then I also had to alter the pose of the little guy a couple times because it wasn't looking natural. I don't know. There's just a lot of things wrong with it, and then my pens were dying, so I was testing them in the back of my book, and if this one just was kind of not great overall. So this image is of the player, and then they are in a warped forest that is looking out on a soul sand desert. So it's an interesting composition, a lot of blue in there. I really like, again, I like the mushroom forests. I really love the shroom lights just for decorating around my bases. They're really fun, and I like them better than glowstone. Glowstone is a little bit too much beige for me, but I like how orange the shroom lights are. Very fun colors going on. I have terrible luck sometimes, and it's always horrible when you spawn in a soul sand desert because it's hard to move, and then skeletons shoot at you, and it's like, I don't want to get soul speed enchanted boots. I don't want to have to struggle that much to get them. So usually what I end up doing is making a little wall around my nether portal and then tunneling until I come to a different biome because I just don't want to. The bones in it are nice though. I always need a lot of bone meal in my worlds, either just for farming or for aesthetic of the flowers. So yeah, I like this one. It went well. In my mind, the warped forest tree things, they don't feel like trees to me. I imagine them more like giant mushrooms with class, kind of, because it says a shroom light, so I'm guessing it's more of a mushroom than a leaf, because a leaf needs sunshine. So yeah, we're thinking some kind of fungus, and I always thought that it would be sparkly, so we added some silver sparkles, and those were fun, and then we finally added in the character. I didn't like this first pose, so again, I ended up fixing it later, and it looks much better. Then this last one is of the end. For this one, the end has a lot of black, so I decided to add this purple sort of Milky Way to give some more color into it, and just because I wanted you to be able to see the dragon. I also just decided to give the, I don't know what they're called, the big columns Forgot what they were called. I decided to give them a little bit more class and put some designs on the sides because I think that's what they would look more like if they were not a cube game. I don't know, I just thought they should have something to break up all the black and so that they didn't just blend in with the background. So we made some fun designs on them, and then we started to color in the character, and I wanted to make the arrow golden so it stood out. And then this pose was difficult. It's hard. Arm foreshadowing is hard. So we worked on that. I also decided to add the light coming from the back of the character as a fun excuse to kind of have some fun shadows, and then just to outline the character so you can actually tell what's going on. When I was making these, I wanted to have an equal or a pretty equal distribution of the different biomes and different dimensions, and I really like how these turned out. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.